Hi there. Welcome to, Kananaskis country officially. I'm actually a little chilly, I have to admit. It's a cooler day than I thought it was going to be anyway. I was out early for a swim up at Johnson Lake, and and I'm coming into Canmore for a meeting. I'm actually meeting with someone who, through these virtual platforms, is coming on the Japan trip. So that's really fun. So I just thought, heck, I knew I'd be here in the Canmore area today, and I waffled about where I was going to do a little visit this morning. But then I decided that I would come up into this valley. Now I have to be a little careful in terms of reception where I am. So I'm just waiting to see that, and see, we have a few people on board. So hi there, good morning. I'm not seeing any messages yet though. Oh, there we go, I see. Hi. Hey Martine. Hi Karen. Hi Anna Marie. Hi everyone. Sorry, there we go. Mary Lou, good morning to you there. Nice. Hey. All right, so let me show you where I am, because for those of you who love mountains, I'm in one of the magic places here. So I'm up at the top of the unsurfaced road that comes up into the Spray Valley. So I'm in Kananaskis country, which of course is a provincial park area, 4,000 square kilometers. Yes, I renewed my pass. Is Danny here? Hi, Danny. Hugs to you, my friend. But we're looking down towards grassy lakes. The dust you see, that's not smoke. That's dust from the unsurfaced road that's up here. So I'm wedged into quite a small area where I get reception. But I love coming up here. So hi, everyone. So these cliffs on the side here, that is where I taught Finn to rock climb. This is Grassy Lakes. I'm up above them now. I have tried to do tours at the Grassy Lakes before, but the reception is just so hit and miss. But you'll see the lakes down there in the distance. Let's just do a little zoom. Beautiful, beautiful lakes. Now that is Lawrence Grassy, who was an immigrant here, worked in the mines. A fabulous person, spent much of his life wanting to protect this area, and so much so that he's so significant to our community and our history through here that the chain of mountains up here to the right is the Grassy Range, and there is, of course, famous Hatling Peak. I know many of you know the story, but let me just tell it briefly one more time. This was the mountain that was climbed by Mr. Haling, who worked here as a cook, probably on the trains. And he was Chinese-Canadian, of course, and he made a bet. It was either $5 or $50 that he could climb it up and down from the valley. And I mean, there's the town of Canmore, way in the distance there, in a day, and he did it. And then they named the peak Chinaman's Peak. Well, by the late 90s, the conversation came out that you don't name a mountain after someone's ethnicity, you name it after the person. So they took the name away, and it had several years that it was the peak, formerly known as Chinaman's Peak, and now it's Haling Peak. And it is an excellent hike. Hey, MB, are you here? It's an excellent hike. And why I like that particular, now on the side we're looking at here, you can rock climb it. That's real technical rock climbing. It's about a 7-hour climb. So you walk up along the ridge and you start climbing. However, on the back side, the parking is about 1 kilometer from here. And it takes, someone who's used to the altitude and everything, takes about an hour and a half to get to the top. But after you're up 2/3 of the way, you get above the tree line. So it's one of the most accessible mountains in the world to get above the tree line and to have that high alpine experience. And of course, the tree line's low on these mountains. The mountains around here are all about 2,400 to 2,600 meters. So 8,000 to 9,000 feet. But look at the formation of the rock through here. All up this side here is coral reef. Now this is coral reef that is about, hey Jolene, hi everyone, about 380 million years old. And it's thrust up out of the ground. So I'm kind of on the 2 of the 3 thrusts. Most of the mountains around here are 3 thrusts. And they're thrust faults, of course, with the older rock over top of the newer rock as they've been pushed. I do want to point out in the distance there, I'm looking out towards Mount Peak. You're looking straight across at Mount Macdonald, named for Agnes Macdonald, second wife of the first Prime Minister of Canada, and then Mount Fable in the middle. I love this one. So if you were to go walk up around the back of Mount Fable there, you'd actually be at the far end of Lake Minnewanka, the largest lake in Banff National Park. Isn't it fabulous up here? Hi, Jennifer. Mount Fable got its name because when they were climbing all these peaks in the 1880s, they sent a team out, 3 people or something, to go climb it, and they came back and said, oh, they couldn't get there, the bush was too dense. And so the year later, 2 years later, whenever someone went in there, the bush wasn't dense at all. They just didn't want to go climb it, so they called it Fable. And then you've got Grotto Mountain, where they are mining out there. So, and that's, of course, the little bit of industry. But you will notice up towards Peakchee up there, that's what the little nib on, totally different view of it, means Soaring Eagle. If you look at the top of those mountains, that is fresh snow from last night. So we call that termination dust. So it is chilly this morning. I'm in shorts. So like I said, I've got a meeting in about an hour, which I'm really looking forward to. So a lady who came through the virtual platform, but I haven't actually met in person, is coming to on the Japan trip. Was still 2 spots on the Japan trip, by the way, and that will be locked and closed on July 20th, by the way. So so in case you're thinking about it, we have to make decisions very quickly. And then my plan is to go out to Mount Yamnuska because all the wildflowers are out, and I've got my bear spray because I will see bears out there, but I'm hoping it's not going to rain. Now this is what everyone's doing here. These people all parked up where I parked, which isn't very far away. I can show you when I get up top. And they are going down. They all have backpacks and helmets. That's because this is a major rock climbing area in here. It is really, really fun to climb in here above Grassy Lakes. You either park up top and walk down, or you start at the bottom of the valley, which you can see down there, and walk back up. But there's actually both sides. Do you know, as you wander down here, there's some steps built in. So there's good infrastructure here. But because it's coral reef, it's very, very pocked. It's full of holes, but it's good and firm. So it's a great place to learn to climb, but there are some genuinely more challenging climbs up there as well. And even though it's starting to rain a little bit, these people will be just fine because you can actually climb under some overhangs, so you're protected. There are also, and somewhere I have a video of them, there are these huge owls that nest up here. That's got to be 2 years since I last saw them. So that is just a spectacular thing. So this whole area, and just to add to how significant this area is, if I went down through the bend, but I'd lose reception, so I can't do it. There's one big boulder, and there are actually petroglyphs. There's 6,000-year-old painting on there. So what that tells us is this was a pass that people came, and I'll climb up in a minute and show you the view down the valley in the other direction. It is so cool to see. And people came up and traded. So again, Stony Nakota in this area, although Blackfoot all to the south, Picani specifically. There you go, there's the climbers heading down with all their gear. And climbing gear is not too heavy. By the way, I just bought new climbing shoes yesterday in Calgary. So I went up to the gym last night and I went for a climb. And they're still a little, I'm hoping they will, I hope they will just stretch about a quarter of a size. So my foot is about a 42 and a half to a 43, and these are a 40. Like that's what you do with climbing shoes. You wedge your toes in really tight. Now they're not wearing their climbing shoes to walk down. They'll change when they set up their ropes and start climbing. There's lots of bolted routes. So in terms of, hi Ann, nice to see you. So in terms of people moving through these valleys, you come up and through the valley, which I'm going to climb up to now. And it was interesting because I did put a picture up of last week because I was up here. I often bring people up here for views, and now they they seem to be paving the road coming up here. I have very mixed feelings about that. I'm not against, but this is one place the big tour coaches can't come. And I come up here, very specifically with people who want to get that high alpine feel. And so, and I grew up climbing on these mountains. In fact, I've probably stood on top of that mountain there at least 100 times. That is where they crashed a plane into there when they did The Edge with Anthony Hopkins, by the way. That was Alaska at one time. But this pass, I guess that I keep avoiding getting the name, it's still sort of known as White Man's Pass. And when we say White Man's Pass is because the Sinclair expedition came through here. Sarah's just saying an offline video about the owls. I did do one somewhere. I just don't think it was in the full HD, but I did actually catch them before. They've been rebuilding the parking down below, and Grassy Lakes, which is the most popular hike in the Canmore area, was basically closed off to everyone for, I don't know, about a year and a half. It's amazing. And of course, I used to live down the road from here, and I could actually just ride my bike up and hike. But obviously, as I live in Banff, I do different hikes. So White Man's Pass, the Sinclair expedition came down here in the 1840s. They came down and traveled through here, and it was given the name White Man's Pass. I prefer calling it the Spray Valley, and Sinclair himself was actually Métis, but they went straight south there, and you're looking out towards the Goat Range. Now you're going to hear the wind coming up here, which is often the case, and so there is a dam, and I'm walking up along the dam here, but a whole series of lakes, and if you get down around the bend in front, you just go down a hill. I lose all reception down there, but you come to the parking where you can hike up Haling, which is one of the beautiful things to do. But also, you can follow Goat Creek, and you can bike or ski or hike all the way to Banff. And it's 18 kilometers, I think, down the back. Of course, I'm at Eeyore here, or the east end of Rundle. So this is that same famous mountain. However, if you follow this road for 64 kilometers, unsurfaced the whole way, although it's interesting, they're doing some surfacing, so I don't know what the plan is, you end up eventually in Peter Lougheed Provincial Park, one of the 5 parks that make up Kananaskis country. Peter Lougheed was our great premier in the early 70s, who really set aside this heritage fund money on the back of Alberta's incredible oil wealth and protected this area, 4,000 square kilometers, hugged up against the national park already. And it's all these great front ranges. Now, the picture I put up on social media last week was calm as can be, and it was gorgeous and calm this morning at Johnson Lake. But this is genuinely cool. It's a cool, and yeah, I'm going to decide how much I'm actually going to hike later, because you know what? I've got the shorts on. Now, all of these peaks are fun to climb. So hiking way up here, you can do it all the way from the valley down below. Parking is nearly full. I mean, it's one of our realities. Lady McDonald's more of a 3-hour hike. That one up in about an hour and a quarter, hour and a half down. The top end of that one is where you get a lot of scree. Oh, Martine, yeah, and I'm gonna put up another little video from there because I had the muskrat this morning, which is such a treat. And then the loons started calling out to me. So, you know, that's not, I don't really consider it a cold plunge there. I mean, I was still shivering after, but I swam for about 6 minutes. But tomorrow, so I've got a private family, same one I was with last week when I saw the bears. I've got all of them tomorrow, and I might bring them up here. But the next few days, it's going to get up. They say Sunday or Monday could actually be 31 degrees Celsius as a high. That's like 88, which for us is as hot as we ever get. So that means going out to Johnson Lake for a swim is wonderful. And it's nice in the afternoon. It's not even, you don't even get that cold. So let's have another look around over here. So we've come up this road, and this road has about, I don't know what it is, 8 or 9 bends coming up. And, I've cycled up it before, which is great fun. So Mary Beth is coming up for a visit, but don't worry, MB, in the mornings it's still like 45. But in the afternoons, of course, we'll go out and go for a swim, and you'll come and you'll cool off. Snow. Well, you ask for snow, there you go. I mean, that is fresh snow from last night at the top of that mountain. Termination dust up there. And look at those fabulous clouds. But it was a very, very calm morning, and boy, oh boy, it's not calm now. Now, if you went up this ridge, you go up Eeyore, so people park over there. I'm parked over there as well. But you walk up, there's rock climbing along all those cliffs up there. But Eeyore is a totally different climb than Haling. It's a little bit longer, but the hard part's the beginning. See how steep that is there? So that's a big zigzag. But then when you get up high, you get up into a plateau. Hey, thanks, Nat. Thank you for your contribution. Karen, it is so beautiful. I love coming up here. Again, I'm very limited. If I go, I was actually on the phone as I was driving up here, and as soon as I went around the bend, it cut out. So that's the reality. Yeah, I keep hearing about all the heat in so many places, but yeah, I'm sort of glad there's still no reception up this valley. And of course, some of you have seen the videos. I made a video walking down Haling a couple of years ago in the winter with the perfect blue sky. So it's very dramatic today, and it feels dramatic. What I would like to do, actually, maybe I'll try and take you over just to the edge a little bit. I was hoping, I did a video just last week of bighorn sheep, a whole family with their babies just along here, because there's a population. the sheep are territorial, right? They stay in the same area, so we know we can see them. And you see this infrastructure out here, by the way. So this, right here, this water moves down into a pipe system. And there's a power station. Well, that's the canal you see in the distance there. And there's a power station right by the Bow River. You're not allowed to fish near it, by the way, because there's so many so many fish, but the turbines are churning over, but it does make it nice and clean. It is breathtaking, isn't it? So I am up right now at about 1,700 meters, maybe 1,650, which is over 6,000 feet. So that's where I am up here. So again, high, but not so high. But you can see, I mean, erosion, our growing season's so short, but you know, they built this road how many ever decades ago. They built the dam back in the 40s, I think. But you see how the land is sloughing off. Just one little road and you have that effect. Oh, I just felt a little raindrop on me as well. But when you look at the contour, the formation of this rock, that's where you get these coral reef extrusions full of fossils. You find fossils all through here. But say it's quite a feeling. I'll have to dig up some pictures. Now my buddy's going to come out next week and we're going to bike over to Sunshine Slabs and go skiing there. Oh, I just saw, I think it's a chipmunk, but it could have been a pika running along. I'm right at the altitude that pikas live at. Remember, Alberta is a rat-free jurisdiction, the only one in the world. But pikas are something, you might hear the weather is really good. But pikas are creatures that we follow a lot in terms of climate change because they hibernate and nest in a very specific bandwidth. And as a result of that, they keep moving further and further up the mountains. By the way, the danger and warning signs is talking about, first of all, dogs must be on leash all the time, but also the fact that there is falling rock. I don't know if they have the sign anymore. They used to have a sign before they had this railing here saying, do not throw rocks, climbers below. And someone wrote very discreetly on it, or, so do not throw rocks or climbers below. That was actually kind of funny. I don't like graffiti, but I just want to come over to some of this rock here though. And hopefully you're getting good reception from me still. So I'm in a very much a rock mood because I'm going to be home all summer. Yeah, so this is a mix of both the limestone and then the coral reef. So the reef here is where you get this erosion all through here. Now, it's hard on the fingers. Like I always come up with bleeding fingers after the fact. But these are these really interesting formations down this cliff face, which has made it so good for climbing through here as well. And if you haven't tried rock climbing, put it on your list. It's pretty neat. So here comes all the traffic coming up the hill now. Holy moly. Now, they are being stopped because they're doing some construction. It may have, Martins is saying it may have been knocked over because of falling rock. Well, you look how much scree and loose rocks down here. But this is why you take helmets for climbing. It's not because of falling, right? It's rock falling on you. That's the real issue that one's dealing with. Sorry, just watch my step as I come down here. But yeah, so the trail down is neat, but I do love the fact that in very short order, you can get up to a much higher elevation through here. Look at the wind just moving across that aspen tree there. So no birch up this high, but lots of fun aspen around. But see, there's still quite a lot of snowpack up there too, which is good news. And now we're gonna get real summer for a week or two. And I think we're all feeling a lot better about that now because we've had enough precipitation and cool that, you know, the risk of forest fire has dropped. So now the city of Calgary has been going through, I don't know about the news in Calgary, they had a massive water line break. I mean, a very serious water line break. And they've been on water restrictions for a month in the city. And it goes to show aging infrastructure is a very serious thing. I like these signs like this one over here. It says, "Don't tread on me. The growth season is so short." But this is, I think, just a fabulous view down below. Isn't it just spectacular? So, and you're looking across, you see what a big footprint Canmore itself has. Now in 2013, so it's over 10 years ago now, we had a massive flood. It was in June 13, I think. What happened is a big cell of rain came and settled in this valley. We sort of refer to this valley as a saddle. It has a saddle formation. But the snowpack hadn't melted, and it rained more in one night than it usually does in about 2 months. But again, we're not a rainy place, but it brought all the snow down. And so on the far side, I'm going to zoom in here. You see that kind of scar in the land there? That is a Wye Creek area, which moves the snow out during melt time. You have these all through mountain areas. Well, that burst its banks and they lost 47 houses. Now, no life was lost, which is the most important thing, but that flood went down and then flooded the city of Calgary, of course. And then in a peculiar act of irony, the city of High River flooded. And the premier of our province, Danielle Smith, who seems to be opposed to any government, thank you, Jennifer, I appreciate it, yeah, it is windy. She then immediately took a bailout for her house, even though she's opposed to any government support. But yeah, that's another point. Listen, I'm going to get down out of the wind, but yeah, it's really gusting. But I want to give you some more views, but I just want to turn around one more time and just give you this valley up there. And if we go to Peter Lougheed Park, okay, Mary, lovely to see you, big hugs. But Peter Lougheed Park is a great place to see bears as well. I've been seeing a ton of bears this year anyway. And now that the flowers are out, hopefully we have a really, really good berry season, because we didn't last year, and that matters a lot. Look at the canal down in the distance there. Isn't that just gorgeous? Nice reflections. But it's so nice for everyone joining. There's another family going down to go climbing. And it's nice. You see, I told you, I taught Finn to climb here, and you see there's 2 young people and presumably 2 mums, and they're going to take them out and climb together. And that's because you've got some nice long climbs, 20 meters or so down there, but that are reasonably easy. Again, if you're, oh, hello. Sorry, I'm just looking at this duck flying. I was just wondering if that isn't a harlequin. I just couldn't see. It's probably a mallard, which is just fine, but had a colorful enough head that that was maybe a harlequin duck. And they're just such a treat to see because they're so rare to see and so protected. By the way, these lakes behind me are full of fish as well. But let's just come down into the valley a little bit here. And yeah, I do want to take you all climbing. Karen, great question. Karen's just asking whether it's green. I always need to remind myself to repeat questions when people ask them, because I don't think they come back when you watch replays. And yes, it is a very deep green color. Now, there's no glaciers up this valley, and so this is old glacial silt that is in there sort of churning over because there's quite a fast flow. It's really that which is giving this lovely sort of greenish color rather than the deep turquoise. It was interesting. I had a great question a few days ago when I was up by Takaka Falls, where the water was white, and they're saying, well, why isn't that turquoise? But that's because that's just pure glacial melt, and then that's a much, much denser. Hola Silvia, bienvenidos. Estoy aquí arriba en las montañas con unos 7 grados. That is my friend Sylvia there, ladies and gentlemen, from Oaxaca in Mexico. It's so nice to see her there. So, hace frío hoy aquí. It is quite chilly here. Right here, so much color. I totally agree. Well, that's what, when I come back up here, actually, we're talking about the color. When we look down to the canal, it's just churned up. Now, there is a film or a documentary talking about the disappearing turquoise water. I haven't actually seen it yet, but I want to. It was shown at the Banff Center when I was away on one of my trips. But I want to have a look. But have a look at that canal. So the canal does freeze over the top of the winter. Now, here in the Spray Valley is a great place to go skating in the winter, and I've done that kite skiing, where you fly a kite and ski along, but you get massive wind gusts. But have a look at the color down here. So this is a part of the world that I just love coming up to anytime I get a chance. Now, looking across the valley to Mount Lady Macdonald over there, you walk up the ridge of it if you're going to the top, but you cannot walk along that front area because that's all cougar life. Now, you saw there was that family, the 4 people going down to climb. You see how quickly they got down into the valley? And so let's see if we can have a little bit more of a peek. But I am getting, I'm still a little cold from my morning swim, you see. My hands are a bit cold, so, but I just want to give you a couple more beautiful views of this spectacular environment up here. And I love bringing people up here because it's a real chance to get that feel of the high alpine. Justina, I'm always watching out for cougars. But yeah, I have my bear spray in the car right now. But here's busy enough. There's enough traffic and everything. I was hoping to find some sheep for everyone. But I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we've there's a good view out there. So hey, thanks for hanging out this morning. And I'm going to put up a couple other videos. Please remember to do the like and share and all that sort of stuff, because we're going to keep growing this as best we can. Oh, there they are. I can see the family again, or the climbers. Oh, you're very welcome, Anna Marie. It's my pleasure. See everybody right down there. But the fact that they built in some stairs has made this so much easier in terms of infrastructure. So, now ça fait plaisir. Et puis, je vous embrasse. Finn Toomey has been working every single day, by the way, so he's working back at the shop, but he has given his notice at that shop, and he's got some more guiding lined up, so he's got a fun summer ahead of him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, thanks for hanging out. Big hugs. It's so nice to connect with all of you. Stay healthy and happy, and you're very welcome. So I'll talk to everyone as soon as possible. Hey, keep in touch, and let me see, I'm guiding the next couple of days, but the sun's going to be coming out, so I really want to take you out on a biking trip in Banff one of these days as well. So, everyone's a little chilly today. Okay, hey, take care, keep in touch. Thanks for sharing all these videos and getting people to subscribe and so forth.